Hi all, welcome to my channel. Today, we'll discuss handling complex relationships. When Mary showed some flexibility, a light bulb went off in Wade's head. He immediately asked Mary to propose to him. Mary looked incredulous but desperate to save her hard-earned career, begrudgingly complied. Seeing Mary submit, Wade felt a surge of satisfaction, as if it was the proudest moment of her assistant career. However, Mary wasn't one to easily give in. She had a long memory and was ready for payback. On the flight back home for her grandma's birthday, she seized her chance to poke at Wade. Mary ruthlessly mocked Wade's family background and insisted that he move into her house after the wedding. Wade wasn't angered by Mary's taunts. After 3 years as her assistant, he knew her well. Mary, meanwhile, was secretly worried. She was busy thinking about how to deal with Wade's less than wealthy relatives and how to minimize interaction with them. But as soon as the plane landed, Mary noticed something was off. Every house in the street had Wade's last name on the door. Mary, recalling her usual backpack, felt a sudden jolt. She sensed something. When they had to take her yacht to reach Wade's home, Mary was certain of her suspicions. The seemingly humble assistant by her side for 3 years was a hidden rich kid, with a luxurious mansion on a private island and surrounding islands also owned by her family. Everything screamed of Wade's family's immense wealth, leaving Mary stunned. She never imagined that this assistant had such an astonishing background. In comparison, Mary, the high-flying executive, felt like the true underdog. Stepping into the lavishly decorated villa, Mary noticed that Wade's parents didn't greet her. Instead, they threw a magnificent party. Wade's relatives had shared one over her boss and crowded to congratulate, eyes brimming with awe and curiosity. But Wade's dad couldn't hide his displeasure upon seeing his son return. As the party peaked, the crowd egged them on, pushing them to the center. Everyone was shouting loudly, demanding that they share the details of their romantic journey. Fortunately, they had had some practice on the plane beforehand. Under the intense gazes, they successfully recited their prep story. To escape further questioning, they quickly announced they would be getting married in a few days. The announcement sent the relatives into a frenzy, loudly demanding they demonstrate their love right then and there. Amid the crowd's cheers, the two, feeling cornered, reluctantly faked a kiss. For powerful Mary, it was her first experience, and for Wade the same. At that moment, the air seemed acute, with warmth silently exchanged. Two hearts that shouldn't have felt anything ended up sharing a delicate connection. To show their warmth and thoughtfulness, Grandma and Mom put them in a scenic room. Grandma even carefully brought out a cherished family quilt she had prepared in advance, saying, "I call it Sweetheart, so we need to be careful." Before leaving, Grandma gave a knowing look, as if hinting at something. Little did she know, there were no real feelings between them. They naturally slept separately, with Wade gallantly opting for the floor, leaving the plush bed for Mary. But as Mary lay on the soft bed, she tossed and turned, unable to sleep, her mind swirling as she replayed that afternoon's kiss. Wade was in the same boat, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. As the morning sun began to break through, a new day stealthily arrived, and Mary, lost in slumber, was abruptly woken by the frantic ringing of her phone. Fearing she'd wake Wade, she hurriedly threw on a robe and dashed outside. Two rushed to shut the door, completely unaware her little dog had tagged along. Absorbed in her phone call, Mary didn't see the danger approaching. Suddenly, an eagle swooped down like a black lightning bolt, snatching up her dog. Mary was horrified. Reflexively, she dropped the phone, luckily saving her dog. Just as she was about to rush back inside with it, the eagle turned back around. It accurately snatched her work phone, leaving Mary in a panic, her mind blank. She raised the dog and, in a cacophony, shouted at the eagle like a madwoman. Mary heard her ramblings and assumed she was still groggy from sleep. After all, it was quite bizarre for an eagle to swoop down and snatch her phone. It sounded too outlandish, but she quickly reassured Mary that they could just buy a new one in town tomorrow. Wade caught a glimpse of Grandma and Mom looking their way. To avoid exposing their fake romance, he instinctively pulled Mary into a hug, feigning affection. However, Wade also started to act naughtily at this moment, intentionally playing a small trick on Mary. Having Wade eat the cake seemed to have long become one of the few little joys in Mary's daily routine. A short while later, Wade's dad called him over, looking guilty. He sincerely apologized for their heated argument 3 years ago. He even reached out, hoping to reconcile. Wade's heart warmed, but only for 3 seconds. Changing the subject, he urged his son to stop wandering and hurry back to take over the family business, saying that real men shouldn't rely on women, they should be their rock and protector. When his father again denied his dreams, Wade felt disappointed and helpless. He turned and left without a word, unwilling to say more. His mom was preparing to go to town for supplies. Spotting Wade swinging tools in frustration, venting his anger. With a single glance, Mom understood immediately why her son was upset. Her heart ached for him. After finally getting her son back, Wade was fuming again, undoubtedly because of something his dad. It was 3 years ago that her husband's stubbornness had triggered a fierce argument, causing Wade to leave home in anger and stay away for 3 years. He's my son, and the only time I see him is every 3 years because of you. The father initially saw no issue with his words, but his wife warned seriously that if he kept up, he'd lose his grandchildren. Weighing the situation, the father ultimately decided to compromise. He secretly resolved to surprise Wade tomorrow to mend past mistakes and ease the tension. As night fell and the world quieted, perhaps the atmosphere in the room was too intimate and tender. Mary underwent a subtle change, no longer the lofty, intimidating CEO she usually was. Instead, she began to shed her facade and revealed her most vulnerable self to Wade.